Podcasts are hot right now. How do I know? Well, you're listening to one right now, aren't you? But you might be wondering, how on earth do I get my voice out there and start my own podcast? It all seems so intimidating. Between hosting and platforms and monetization, it can get real complicated real quick. Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We started this podcast over 2 years ago, not knowing clue one on how to do it. So how did we do it? We did it with Anchor. Anchor is the free podcast app with creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on all the platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And everybody likes money, right? Well, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So go right now, download the free Anchor app, or go to Anchor FM to get started. It's the eCommerce Minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your host, John Suder, Bart, Mroz, and Brittany Blackman. The eCommerce Minute is a production of SUMO Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm located in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com.
It's eCommerce Minute episode 734.
In today's episode, Europe's Just Eat Takeaway snaps up Grubhub for $7.3 billion with a B.
With a B. Uber had been acquisition talks with Grubhub for months, but political pressure raised questions about whether U.S. regulators would approve such a deal. The two companies had nearly aligned on a price, but remained at odds over other issues, including terms of a breakup fee for Grubhub if the deal couldn't be completed. So Grubhub went with another company. Grubhub plans to merge with European food delivery company JustEatTakeaway.com. The deal gives Grubhub shares an implied value of $75.15, implying a total equity value of $7.3 billion with a B on a fully diluted basis. Grubhub's deal with Just Eat most likely won't garner as much regulatory attention as its possible combination with Uber. The proposed Uber-Grubhub deal would have combined two of the three largest food delivery companies in the U.S. Though both parties had agreed on a price ratio, the companies remained concerned about likely antitrust pressure and could not come to an agreement on how Uber would support Grubhub through the regulatory process. Grubhub will launch Just Eat Takeaway into the U.S. market, broadening its already global reach that includes Australia, Brazil, and Canada, in addition to its home base in Europe. Jitse Groen, the Dutch billionaire who created Takeaway in 2000 in his university dorm room, has been looking to expand aggressively over the last year. And less than 2 months ago, Takeaway received antitrust clearance from the UK for its $8 billion acquisition of Just Eat. The company said they expected the deal to close in the first quarter of 2021. Grubhub CEO Matt Maloney will join Just Eat's management board and lead the combined business in North America. 2 Grubhub directors will join Just Eat's supervisory board. That's a big payday. So I never heard of this, but I don't live in Europe, and I guess I'm not that familiar. But the fact that they made an acquisition for $7.3 billion with a B and a previous acquisition for $8 billion with a B means that this is a massive company and this is a huge deal.
It is. Not to mention they stole it from Uber almost.
They stole it from right under their nose.
Yeah, literally.
Just snagging it up.
Obviously, it was a big deal because Uber does not play either.
Yeah, and I guess it was the regulatory thing. That would have been massive for Uber, but Uber will live to ride another day. See what I did there? But I think I'm wondering about that. So Grubhub is going away and they're going to switch the branding to Just Eat or Just Eat Takeaway, or because we don't really say the word takeaway here. We say takeout.
Right. Yeah. Well, Grubhub and Seamless are the same company. They merged a long time ago. And if you're New York, Seamless was the biggie. If you're our house, Grubhub was the biggie. So I wonder if the takeaway would be a really strange word for here.
Yeah, I agree. But I guess that's in the the devil's in the details.
But I wonder if that's okay. Just change it completely and redo sort of the marketing and everything else for it, right? Because there's Uber Eats, there's Caviar, there's what does Caviar have to do with it, right? Might as well just change the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe they'll just call it Just Eat or just, well, that's a whole branding discussion, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. So these guys are the largest in Europe. I really don't know much about this, so I'm kind of dancing around this story here.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be I've never heard of the company, and just snagging it last minute, it was interesting.
Yeah, that was the surprising thing because we saw the headline come across and I was like, wait, what happened to Uber? It was Uber just got pushed to the side. This guy sweeps in with his $7.8 billion with a B.
Bye.
So, yeah.
I mean, this company's pretty big. It's not small.
Honestly, though, where were you when you found out that like British people call it a takeaway. Because I remember being a huge fan of One Direction, like back in the day when I knew nothing about how anybody in Europe lived. And they were like, oh yeah, we got takeaway. I was like, what the heck? What is that?
And then you took your torch out of your boot and got on the lift.
No, but seriously.
You had to make a stop at the loo first.
And then wear your trousers.
Wear your trousers and your knickers.
Your jumper.
And your tennis shoes, which is what they call like everything, I feel like.
Oh, tennies.
No, it's trainers. They say trainers. You gotta wear your trainers. Trainers.
Okay.
All right. And that's the culture podcast for today. Today's focus was on English dialect. But we'll close it up with a little stat time. Grubhub share price rose 4% and extended trading to about $62, while the European company fell 13%. That was as of the trading date, which was as of this recording last week. DoorDash Incorporated, the current leader in the U.S., and Uber have eaten up market share, leaving Grubhub with 23% at the end of April, according to market research firm Second Measure. And finally, gross food sales for Grubhub rose 8% to $1.6 billion in the first quarter, and the company reported a net loss of about $33 million. That's according to our friends at Bloomberg. You guys got anything else?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Just eat. Takeaway. That's your e-commerce minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow.
That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion or just want to say hi, find us on social media at SUMO Heavy.